Hi, my name is Jay Robbins. I'm the broker at Robbins Real Estate Group, and this is video number 3 in a series of the Texas real estate contract 1 to 4 family residential. Okay, paragraph 5 talks about earnest money. I get a lot of questions about earnest money. So earnest money is held by the title company, and it is consideration. We have to have earnest money when there's a contract. So the title company is going to hold earnest money from the buyer in escrow until the property closes or until the contract terminates and the parties agree to release the earnest money. So a lot of people get really nervous about writing a check to the title company, especially buyers. They want to know, am I going to get my money back? What's going to happen? So here's how it works in general. When you sign a contract, you have 3 days to get the earnest money delivered to the title company. So we want to make sure that if you are a buyer, you get that delivered in time. As your broker, we will help you coordinate delivery of the earnest money. We'll either have the courier that we have on staff drop it off. We'll help you get it wired, or we can just, in general, make sure that earnest money gets to the title company. Now, we have a 3-day deadline, and this is really important. And I think a lot of realtors don't even realize this, and I think most buyers and sellers don't realize it. This 3-day deadline is really important, and here's why. If a buyer puts a house under contract and they don't deliver earnest money on time, the seller then has the right to terminate the contract. So think of this situation. You're a buyer, you found your dream home, it's multiple offers, you got the house, hooray. Well, your realtor or your real estate broker doesn't help you get the earnest money delivered in time. Meanwhile, because it's such a great property, the seller gets a better offer. They ask their realtor what to do, and they have a good realtor. And the realtor says, well, the earnest money wasn't delivered. We can cancel that other contract and go with this better offer. Well, if you're the buyer, the first buyer in that situation, you're out of luck. So it's really, really, really important to get that earnest money delivered on time. The other question I get from buyers is, oh my gosh, what happens if the house doesn't appraise? What happens if it's got a bad roof, et cetera, et cetera? For the most part, there are so many protections in this contract for the buyer's earnest money. I would say this is not a scientific number, but in my experience, I'm thinking over 95% of the time when a contract terminates, the buyer gets the earnest money back. By the way, I've got lots of videos coming up that go over situations in which the buyer gets their earnest money back, but really quickly, typically, the buyer has the unrestricted right to terminate if something comes up during inspections that they don't like. Typically, if the house doesn't appraise for enough money by the bank, then the buyer will get their earnest money back. If there are repairs that are required by the lender, the buyer gets their earnest money back. If the house is not insurable and the lender needs insurance, the buyer gets their earnest money back typically. There are just so many protections in there for the buyer's earnest money. You don't have to worry about it as long as you're paying attention to the contract and as long as you have a good real estate broker. But I'd be curious to know if anybody watching this video has ever had a kind of a scary situation with earnest money. Leave your comments below. I'd love to hear about it. And if you have any questions about how this works, just give me a call or send me a text. I'm at 214-444-9014. Next up, we're going to go over one of the most overlooked paragraphs in the contract, paragraph 6A. I'll see you in a minute.